anything that is not balanced causes chaos. So again, what's happening in this world is the fact that there is a lack of balance. Either there's way too much masculine energy or there is way too much feminine energy. Again, there's too much of something or too little of something else that is causing the imbalance. Welcome to the Monday Message. My name is Francis. I am a clinical therapist operating as a coach. And my purpose in life is to really create spaces so that you can wake up within. I do that through transformative coaching, plant medicine journeys, and of course, videos like this. So I'm always excited to talk about the Monday Message. The Monday Message is just an opportunity for you to maybe think about things a little bit differently, maybe challenge the way that you think about things. It's an opportunity to feel a bit inspired, to go deeper, to think deeper, and maybe feel inspired enough to make some changes in your life, no matter how small. And so the topic that was in my mind is, what does it mean to live in a toxic society, a toxic culture? I think we could collectively agree that we live in a very toxic culture, and there are things that we must do to protect ourselves. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I'll be talking a little bit about what that toxic culture sort of looks like and make some suggestions so that we can basically counter a lot of these energies and so that we can create more joy, peace in our lives. So yes, we live in a very toxic culture. We're very much aware of this. This is nothing new. And as a result of this, it's very difficult for us to not be in this environment and not leave a little bit bruised. And so this toxic culture could be from the foods that we're eating, the relationships that we're having, the information that we're receiving, which may not be 100% accurate. And so as a result, might make poor decisions. To me, a toxic culture just means that it just breeds imbalances in our lives. These experiences will cause us to go off balance. And I don't say this in like as a doom and gloom kind of situation. This whole process of change is accepting things as they are. And when you accept something, it's not that you agree with it. However, you understand when you look at it, you see it as a blanket. And with a blanket, there's stitching, right? And there's all these connections. And so this world is sort of like a blanket. It's a stitch in the fabric of life. Once we accept these things, then we know how to move forward, right? And so this means that we need to do our best in this toxic culture to implement practices that protect our energy, that protects our minds, and it protects our hearts and our spirits so that we can maintain balance. Some of the challenges that we are experiencing is as a result of imbalances. You know, something that's very clear is the balance between rich and poor. Another thing that might feel imbalanced if we feel out of alignment. And if you think about, or if you understand spirituality, then you understand that energy. You already know that anything that is not balanced causes chaos. So again, what's happening in this world is the fact that there is a lack of balance. Either there's way too much masculine energy or there is way too much feminine energy. Again, there's too much of something or too little of something else that is causing the imbalance. And when the world is imbalanced, then it often trickles down to us because we're energy and we absorb those types of energies, and it causes an imbalance within ourselves. And unless we have practices in place to ground us and to help balance us out, then we are going to feel it. And the way that we feel it, like I said, maybe you feel out of alignment, you feel a little bit heavy, all of those things. I remember when I started to lose weight, and one of the things that I had to do, not only was this like a boundary thing, but I really had to create practices because of the culture that I was going into. And the culture I was going into was my office. And in the office, we had a lunch bunch and we used to go and get delicious food and all that. And it was fun, but it wasn't part of the goal of losing weight. So I had to adjust my practices so that I could actually ultimately reach the goal of weight loss. So we need to take a moment to recalibrate our frequencies. And what does that mean? And I know that I'm using sort of esoteric words that may seem a bit lofty, a bit hard to connect, but all I'm saying here is that there's a lot going on out there. And so there needs to be something that's solid in here within ourselves. So for example, when we feel heavy, how can we feel lighter? When we feel angry, how can we process and transmute that energy? When we feel stuck, in which ways can we take action so that we can become unstuck? How do we build momentum? And what's getting in the way of us doing that? So the toxic culture that we live in has a lot of man-made distractions. And I always say this over and over again, and I will never stop saying it, but we must stay focused. We must not get distracted by the strategically planned distractions of our culture. And what that also challenges us to do is to just go deeper within ourselves so that whatever is going on out there doesn't throw us off balance. Most of the time, the things that we're experiencing or that are making us unhappy, we're experiencing brain fog, or we're just unsure of ourselves. All of those uncomfortable feelings are low vibrational. And it's not a judgment thing, but it's like, okay, I understand that it's bringing me down. What can I do to bring myself back to balance? Things are low vibrational because they keep us cemented, they keep us weighed down, and they don't keep us grounded. So this Monday message, I am encouraging you to, again, use those reflective questions that I just mentioned earlier and begin to think of ways of how you can counter some of this toxicity that's in your environment. I always say find what works for you. You might look at someone else and they could be a sense of inspiration just for you to get started. However, it needs to be catered to you because you have your own unique journey. So experiment, test some things out, enjoy the journey as you discover new things about yourself. And remember, again, stay focused and try your best to not get pulled into the toxicity of our culture. Let me know what you've implemented, what you have started doing. I'd love to know. And I will see you on the other side of change. Take care.